Welcome to another episode of me flipping PCs until I buy a house. This is the latest flip, decent PC. As I was bringing this PC to try to prepare it, I noticed that there was something shaking within this PC. Of course, I know what it is, but for you, I feel like I need to show you this because if you go about flipping PCs for profit, definitely you're going to be encountering something like this. And if you do not check it, you might be surprised that your PCs might be returned to you. You see, I kind of suspect that inside this PC is a screw, flying around, a loose screw. Perhaps it was a screw that was used to, hold down the SSD, which is right here. But for one reason or the other, the screw is kind of dangling inside. And if you send out a PC like this to somebody and you do not take care of this kind of loose screw dangling inside the PC, it could just be one reason where a potential buyer will hate the PC. That was what was inside the PC. It wasn't actually a screw like I thought, but this was actually dangling within the PC. And this little thing right here, you might be thinking, but this is so little. Yes, it's so little, but when somebody receives a PC like this and realizes that there's something so small like this dangling within the PC, he or she might be thinking that you have actually sent a PC that's not reliable. So whenever you have any loose screw, any plastic, it doesn't matter what it is, dangling within your PC, make sure to remove it. Don't be lazy about it, because if a PC have been sold and you have received money, the last thing you want to happen is for the buyer to turn around and say, I'm so sorry, I do not like this PC, I want to send it back. But this is not going to be the case with this PC, because like I said, it's a very decent, responsible PC. Right here, I've got the SSD and the RAM stick is right there. If you take a look at this PC, I pretty much do not need to do anything. It has already been cleaned out. So all I need to do now is to go ahead and do what I have to do to make sure that the PC gets on its way to the buyer. And I've still got a few of them left, and hopefully this week we are going to be making sure that these PCs are sold. You see, it's a new month, and this month we are going to go all out, making sure that I move closer to this goal of flipping PCs until I am able to buy a house. Apparently, this PC is trying to be difficult. The DHL driver is going to be driving out any moment from now. Today is Saturday, so at about 11 o'clock, the driver is meant to take this packet and go away. But the problem now is that this PC right here is making this peeping sound. It's not a difficult problem to solve. As a matter of fact, I actually know exactly what to do to save this PC right here. See, if you have a PC like this and it's making this peeping sound, just exactly the way you hear it right now, it has got a lot to do with the RAM sticks. Perhaps the RAM sticks on this PC is not sitting properly. So what I have to do in this situation is I have to open up the PC one more time and make sure that I unplug the RAM stick and then plug it back again. Hopefully this solves this kind of problem. Yes, everything appears to be in order. This was exactly what I did think. A long time ago, this would have been a problem that would throw me off balance. I'll be wondering, I'll go onto Google, onto YouTube, trying to search and see. And at the end of the day, I would have lost so much time. So if you are not subscribed to this channel and you have the remotest wish to begin to flip PCs, this is the exact channel you need to be subscribed to, because I'm just going to lay it on you exactly what you have to do in different difficult situations that you might be encountering. See, someone asked me a few days ago, Hardwareflipper, do you actually flip gaming PCs? And the answer is absolutely yes. I do flip gaming PCs, but in the last few months, I've actually gotten a very good offer, on gaming PCs. But then if you ask me, Hardwareflipper, what PCs would you gladly flip? Guys, I'm going to gladly flip office PCs day in, day out, and the reasons are not far-fetched. If you take a look at eBay today, which is the biggest online marketplace where we sell the items that we sell, there's absolutely more offers of office PCs than gaming PCs. There's a reason for this, and the reason being that there is more demand for office PCs than for gaming PCs. So if you are looking at building a business that will be able to stand the test of time, you might be way better off if you consider selling office PCs. Of course, there's a market for gaming PCs. People tend to buy these PCs here and there, but if you are looking at a business where you can actually sell 10, 15, 20 pieces of a particular PC in a week or even in a month, then you are better off selling an office PC, because truth be said, a long time ago, it used to be that yes, there was a lot of supplies for the parts that you would possibly be needing, to set up your gaming PCs. But right now, It's pretty much difficult to get graphic cards. Sometimes you get graphic cards, they are just kind of expensive. Sometimes you get processors, also very expensive. And then main board, if you want to go the new route, is also the same thing. The good quality main boards, which are the older ones, might just be beyond your budget. And if you are lucky enough to get them, when you finish building the gaming PCs, it's almost certainly sure that the PC is going to be very expensive. And now we are living in a time where a lot of people know how to pretty much build these gaming PCs themselves. So you're going to be dealing with a situation where you are pricing your PC at a certain amount and you keep getting people telling you, I think it's too expensive, because they think they can set up the same PC for a much cheaper price. And that's going to be your major headache. You're going to be building these PCs. You might not be able to sell them at a rate that will guarantee that you remain in business, because truth be said, you go to eBay right now, you see about 2-3 sellers, dominating the market. Honestly, where they get these parts, I do not know. Where they get the graphic cards, where they constantly get main boards, as to be able to sell these things for so cheap, I have absolutely no idea. So if you want to go that route, of course, like I said, there's a market for it, but be ready to constantly be on the internet, looking out for parts, looking out for great deals on eBay, on Amazon, or some of the local, marketplaces. But that, in my opinion, will not be sustainable. If you want to build a business, which is a functional business that will be able to pay your bills, be able to put food on your table, you are better off going the route, of office PCs. Look, every day, someone somewhere is going to be in need of an office PC. There's absolutely no school today, no hospital, no business that doesn't need an office PC. And every year, the big companies tend to throw in these office PCs into the secondary market, where you and I can actually get them, clean them, what you otherwise call refurbished PCs, and offer them again to be sold to consumers like you and I. You see, most people cannot afford these PCs in their new state, so they will pretty much depend on this market, which is the used market, to continue to buy the kind of PCs that they will naturally need. And because of this, the demand is just at an all-time high. See, I'm not saying that every office PC will sell, but then if you are zoomed in on the things that sell, you are definitely going to be making sales. And the beautiful thing is that you are not going to be competing with a select group of people that otherwise have monopolized the market. If you lay your hands on decent hardwares, decent desktop PCs, decent laptops, there is going to be a market for you, and there's going to be definitely somebody that's going to pay you to send that computer or the laptop over to him or her. Of course, if I get very good deals on parts like graphic cards, processors, mainboard housing at a price that is pretty much friendly, I'm definitely going to be knocking myself out, building these gaming PCs and offering them for sale. Also, if you take a look at the profit line on these PCs, after all the stress of going through, building these gaming PCs, you are pretty much looking at 50, 60 or 70 euros. At the highest, you're looking at about 100 euros, in profit. But if you go the route of office PCs, of course, you're not going to be making 100 euros per PC, but you are going to be playing the quantity game. You're going to be selling a lot. At the end of the day, the little profit that you make on each of these PCs multiplied by the quantity that you tend to sell every week is just going to outperform whatever profit you would have made, selling one gaming PC in say 2 or 3 weeks. And also there's this aspect of gaming PCs that is pretty much tricky, which is some of these PCs, you really cannot guarantee the parts that you are putting into these PCs. Most of these parts are new, have not been fully tested, and sometimes you can't really guarantee the quality from the manufacturers of those parts. And in this case, if you build a gaming PC, it's going to be put to a lot of stress while gaming. You cannot really guarantee how long this PC is going to last. But most of these office PCs, they have been made by some of the world's best brands in terms of technology. And most of these PCs have been put to test 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, as the case may be. And most times when these PCs come in, we clean them and these PCs are still able to last, 5 years, 10 years, and even beyond, depending on the way you use these PCs. I'm very much comfortable with selling desktop PCs. First, the demand is there. And I do not constantly have to sit on the internet looking for deals on parts. Everywhere you go, there's always a potential PC to be sold, because every day somebody somewhere in the world is thinking of changing, upgrading his office PC, upgrading his workspace. Someone is learning a new program, and because of that, there's always the need to upgrade a PC somewhere. And these PCs, more often than not, are going to be offered for sale either on Facebook Marketplace, on local sites, or even on eBay. So there's just enough to go around if you would decide to put in the work of searching out these PCs and getting them, bringing them to your house, your garage, your warehouse, cleaning them up and re-offering them to the market for somebody out there to buy. Check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to keep this right here. All right, 8 pieces of this decent Samsung SSD has been sold for 127 euros 20 cents. I was just minding my business this morning. I didn't know that this was what was about to be sold. My eBay app notified me that these SSDs have been sold. These are decent SSDs. I remember the last time I told you guys that if you ever find these SSDs to buy, they are from Samsung, make sure you buy them because the market wants them. If you go about, buying a sort of other products because you were fortunate to get it for cheap, you are not going to be able to sell them. I mean, scratch that. You'll be able to sell them, but you might just have to, spend a lot of time, waiting for these items to be sold. But if you get these items, before you say jack, you're going to be listed and they are going to be sold. You're going to be smiling to the bank because your money is going to be transferred to your account. Guys, these ones right here, they have all been cleaned up. And let me let you in on something. I didn't pay anything extra to get these. These were all pulled out from working pieces. All I needed to do was to go onto eBay, list them, and eBay pretty much did the heavy listing, sold the items. My own job now is just to ensure that these items are well packed and sent out to the buyer. Some of you out there still asking me, how do I start flipping PCs? Of course, you can actually start from this. You can even start from cables, but the idea is you have to start getting your feet wet. You see, reselling is a long journey. It's going to take you a long time to actually learn the ins and the outs of it. If you lay your hands on this, instead of waiting and folding your arms, no, I only want to sell PCs, you can actually start with this. You can start to learn how to make photographs with this. You can start to test the eBay app, by testing out how you can actually list items, see how customers are reacting to the items, and see how easy it is for you if the item sells, to pack them and eventually ship them out. See, these things look small, but believe me, if you know what you are doing, you can actually make a lot of money just selling only SSDs. I know a lot of sellers on eBay. They do not sell any other thing. They do not sell computers. They do not sell laptops. They do not sell monitors. They are fully concentrated on this, and they have done it year in, year out, to the point that they are pretty much recognized as the masters when it comes to hard drive. This is the idea. If you keep jumping around, today you are selling hard drive, tomorrow you are selling books, next tomorrow you are selling clothing. At the end of the day, you're going to be a jack of all trades, actually being a master of none. So there's a lot of benefit in being focused. If you have decided to sell computers, stay focused. The beginning might be very messy, it might be rough, but if you keep doing what you are doing, you are definitely going to see a lot of results. So these ones right here are going to be shipped out. We're going to go ahead and pack them up neatly in such a way that whenever the buyer receives them, he or she is definitely going to come back to my shop.